Imagine receiving a grievance that's over 1,000 pages long. It sounds unbelievable, but it's already happening. And with AI making it easier than ever for employees to draft complaints, employers are having to adapt quickly with the sheer volume of words and allegations that employees are making. So today we're looking at what AI-generated grievances are, the challenges that they create, and what employers can do to respond effectively. So Ashley, why are employers seeing more AI-generated grievances?
Well, I think it's accessibility. So now we see a whole host of AI tools available for people to download on their mobiles, most of them with the access being free. And we're finding that employees are using these tools to try to communicate to their employer their concerns and issues in the hope that they're putting their best step forward to trying to get those resolved with their employer. Unfortunately, this largely results in very complex sounding documents with references to legislation and case law, often incorrect references to case law, I might add.
So Ashley, what challenges do these AI-generated grievances pose for employers?
Well, perhaps the most obvious is volume. So I think anybody who's seen an AI-generated document or has generated one themselves, they are incredibly lengthy. And when it's, the basis of an investigation, where you actually have to break it down into points that you have to investigate, those issues can very much get lost in a 30-page document, which includes a lot of irrelevant material within it. And that can also create delays to the process, and also, overwhelm for the person who's actually having to try to investigate this.
Exactly.
I would say the second point is risk. So often people are putting confidential or company data,
Yes.
or personal data into these AI tools to generate their grievance, and equally the responses back to those grievances can also be at risk of being used in that same way. So that creates a risk for the company, both in terms of a data protection law, but also from their own confidentiality standpoint. I would say the third, and possibly the most important, is that the whole purpose of a grievance is for issues to be raised, investigated, and resolved.
Yes.
Well, if we just end up getting into a ping pong of grievance, AI-generated grievance, outcome generated by AI, then actually we're not really paying attention to what the issues are ourselves and actually looking to resolve them, which is the whole point of it.
Ashley, should employers update their grievance procedures and processes in the light of AI, and if so, why?
Well, yes, if they haven't already, it's definitely worth updating their policies. Policies weren't drafted with AI in mind.
No.
And processes have been so impacted by AI that it's somewhat of an oversight not to adapt in reaction, because I don't think AI is going anywhere. So we either adapt or we continue to face these challenges.
Yeah.
So the way that you decide to adapt your grievance processes is a matter for what works for your organisation, and keeping in mind the ACAS code of practice in relation to dealing with grievances. But it may be that you think it's appropriate to explore, rather than just send in a grievance, perhaps putting certain limitations on how they're presented, or even creating some sort of template of what can be filled out, so that it's not just a unstructured 50-page document.
Yes.
And it's more focused on getting the information needed, again, to to carry out a fair investigation into those issues. And I think also, as I mentioned before, the risk around confidential information and data protection,
Yes.
you may also want to include a reminder of your workplace processes and your workplace rules in relation to those issues as well, giving a reminder within that grievance policy of the risks around putting confidential or company information or personal data into those AI tools and potential repercussions under the disciplinary process for doing that.
Thank you. Actually, what if an employer suspects that the grievance that they have received has been prepared using AI? What's their best response?
Well, if you receive a really lengthy AI-generated grievance, I think the first thing you'd want to do is to have a face-to-face consultation with the individual to try to help establish exactly what their concerns are, and to create, if you like, a list of issues for the investigator which can be agreed with that individual. I think the temptation is to respond point by point to
Yes.
every single thing,
Yes.
but actually when you use AI, sometimes it will add things in that maybe necessarily don't actually bother the individual or aren't true or aren't relevant. So actually getting down to what is the concern and what do you want investigating here, and constructing a list of issues for the investigator which is agreed by both parties to continue with, and then you can somewhat ignore the noise of the rest of,
Yes.
of that document. And it's also really important to provide training to HR professionals and to managers so that they are prepared to deal with these types of grievances. It can be quite overwhelming to receive such a huge document, not only from a work pressure point, because this is probably not the only thing that they're having to deal with,
Yes.
but also where there's legal language in there, that can also be quite intimidating. So I think making sure that they are trained, hopefully on a new updated policy that's adapted for this type of scenario, and so that gives them the confidence to deal with those types of issues.
AI is really changing the workplace disputes arena and how they're raised. So now is a good time for employers to review their approach and make sure they're prepared for what's ahead. To find out more, please visit our website or get in touch with us directly by email.